Welcome to the Sunday night live stream. Let's make sure that we are live. Had to create a new account and upgrade to their pro version and connect a few different accounts on here. So let's see if we are live. We should be live on X, we should be live on YouTube, Kick, and Twitch, all four at the same time. Let's go check X first. Let's go see if we're live. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Let's see. X is showing I have a live stream going. Oh, there we go. All right, we're live on X. Let's go check YouTube. YouTube. Hey, live on the YouTube. What's up? Let's go. Appreciate you guys. All right, now for the first time ever, let's go check the Twitch. Let's go check Twitch. Am I live on the Twitch? Oh, I am live on Twitch. Look at that. Ah! Let's go check Kick. See if we're live on Kick. Mm, 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 mm. Oh, it says we're live. Oh, there's no audio on that one. What? That's dumb. There's no audio on the Kick side. What the heck? What's up? Ryan. Sounds so weird. I hate it. Don't like it. Dude, what the heck? Well, apparently there's no sound on my Kick stream. What the heck? Oh well, I don't have time to deal with that bullshit right now. What's up? Let's go, Wolf Trading Squad. Let's go. Can I do the whole thing on here while I'm on here? Will it do it? I don't think so. Oh wait, I freaking set up a whole new thing. Probably got to turn on that button that Emp was talking about. Appreciate you, Liv. Welcome to the Sunday night live stream. If you are on the YouTube side, please do like and subscribe and hit that button so you do not miss any kind of notifications or future videos. If you are over on X watching this live stream right now, if you could please hit the like and repost button, it is free to do so. Let people know that we are live, but this is also live and recorded onto my X profile as well onto the YouTube stream. So for people that are currently watching the football game, getting drunk, eating food, whatever it is, having fun rather than looking at charts, um, then they can watch this recording later on tonight or earlier tomorrow morning before next market open. So if you can please like and repost the stream on X, I would greatly appreciate it. And the people that want to watch this recording later would also greatly appreciate it. All right, let me get the link sent out in Discord. Let's go ahead and jump in it. So I just checked futures. Just got done messaging back in the group chat with Imp, actually. I sent it in the Discord a little bit ago. It had a nice 250-point bounce off the lows, and then it looks like it kept going, and now up 300 points off the lows. About to go for that full gap fill to the upside now after the opening gap down nasty blood candle. So good for the market. Love to see it. Let me go get my YouTube. Where's my share button? Share. Dude, we have a crazy week ahead of us. So I'm going to quickly go over that. And then obviously everyone knows we do have some tech earnings this week as well. Hey, look at that. Overstuff Mall G4T come in and promote. I don't know what that is. That looks like spam. But hey, you messaged me on Kick, and I think that's fantastic since I just created that profile and I have 0 followers on it. So I appreciate your love and support on that spam account. So going red to green? I think so. I think we're going to be going red to green here. Yes, I'm a way more. more. I appreciate you, buddy. I think Emp just sent a picture of his P&L. He's green on the night. Let's go. Hey, look at that. My YouTube manager over on the Twitch side for me. Let's go. Appreciate you. Uh, I don't even know. Do I have any followers on Twitch? I don't even know. I don't even know how you see how many followers you have on Twitch. I literally just like connected them like a few seconds before I started this thing because usually it's just X and YouTube. I was like, well, let's go over on like, on Kick and Twitch. So I'm looking at the Twitch one right now. I just see myself talking. There's 8 people in there, but I swear to God, there's no sound. So I apologize to the people that are watching this right now on Kick if you can't hear me. Oh, Liv says that I have 36 followers on Twitch. Let's fucking go. Dude, I don't know. I don't know about Kick. If anyone's on Kick and if you can hear me, let me know. Because as of right now, I highly doubt it. But look, and there's some people watching. Let's go over this economic calendar. Let's go over this economic calendar. Someone said, Casey, you think I should switch from TOS to TradingView? It depends. Um, Personally, between TOS and TradingView, I think I'm gonna say one thing, and don't take this the wrong way. I think a lot of your old school traders like TOS, and a lot of newer traders like TradingView. So it's honestly, it's there's no neither one is better than the other. Honestly, just find what works for you, which platform that you honestly connect with. And like same thing with a broker, right? You have Robinhood, you have Webull, you got Fidelity, you got IBKR, you got all these different brokers that people want to trade on. It's just which one do you like working on, honestly? Which one do you like logging into every single day and moving your money around with? So for TOS versus TradingView, personally, I think TradingView offers a lot more versus TOS. I also think TradingView for a charting from the charting perspective is significantly better than TOS. I know that you can obviously people like TOS because you could trade on TOS. Now you can chart on it as well, but TradingView, honestly, for charting, I think is superior. And then also they have the feature you can connect to your broker. So now it doesn't matter, I mean, where your broker is at, you can integrate it into TradingView. And again, I think TradingView does have a lot just better features, honestly. There's just a lot of scripts and things out there. Like shout out to LuxAlgo, right? LuxAlgo, all of their stuff is on TradingView. There's just a lot of things that a lot of codes and algos and scripts that are being built that can only be integrated and only be putting on TradingView versus TOS. So you have to go TradingView to get them. So personally, I think TradingView is a little bit better. What's up? What's up? What's up, guys? Hey, said I hear sound on Kick. Let's go. Appreciate you, Liv. Resolution looks great and clear as well. That is because I just upgraded to the pro version of Restream. So now we're in 1080p, baby. I didn't really get to mess with a lot of the settings, honestly. I just hit 1080p, connected 4 channels. I made my little thing a square um, instead of the little rectangle down there. So, what's up? What's up, Shady? What's up, Shady? Good evening from snowy DC. Yeah, stay warm out there, guys. It's going to be a snowy week. Fun fact: someone in the Discord actually did. Um, they asked Grok, said, historically speaking, when there's snowstorms across 30 to 50% of the United States of America on one day, what kind of S&P 500 day in terms of percentages up or down can be expected going over the course of the last 5 years? And going over the course of the last 5 years, it looked like daily percentage changes ranged from 0.52% up to 0.73%, which and then did the same thing for looking at volume as well. So it seems that the volume and everything actually goes down a little bit during times like this. But we'll see. I thought that was a pretty fun fact of information. When it's very, very snowy, apparently it could be a little bit, slower price action, lower volume with it in the SP 500. Let's go. See, I like that guy. I like Imp. This Imp right here, this guy, Imp Maximiliano, that's the guy. This dude right here, you see now? See that Ryan Wilborn? What is that? I mean, I appreciate the comment right there, but the name, Ryan? I don't know. I don't like that guy, but this guy right there, Imp, that's that's my man's right there. So but yes, SPY 25% off anything in the store. Absolutely, brother. You're welcome. All right, let's go ahead and get the show on the road. Enough of this silly talk. Let's go over economic data for the week. So, starting tomorrow, Monday, January 26th, we do have a delayed report of durable good orders at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Nothing crazy. And Tuesday, we have consumer confidence at 10 a.m. This is where things are going to start getting crazy for the week when it comes to data and then earnings for this week. Starting Wednesday, January 28th, we have FOMC interest rate decision, and we get to see our big old pal, Federal Chair Reserve Jerome Powell at 2:30 p.m. So he still has a job. Trump apparently hates this dude, but I don't know how much longer he's going to be hanging in there. But we get to see Jay. We could be able to see Jerome Powell, J Daddy, Pal Daddy. See what tie he's wearing, blue or purple. We'll take guesses on that day. But FOMC 2 p.m. Um, on Wednesday. Thursday, initial jobless claims at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, and then a few other delayed reports coming in later on. Wholesale inventories. Friday is then the next one where we have PPI, and then Chicago PMI. And then I believe we have some Fed speakers later on that day, but nothing too significant. Mainly just that 8:30 a.m. Eastern data on Friday. So starting Wednesday is where it's going to get a little bit crazy with the market with FOMC at 2 p.m. And then for the earnings this week, nothing crazy. Honestly, tomorrow, not really interested in anything. But Tuesday morning before the bell, you have UNH, you have UPS, you have NEE, you have that's just NextEra Energy, you have Boeing, BA, American Airlines, General Motors, and JetBlue. After the close, you have Texas Instruments. Wednesday before the bell, you have ASML, Starbucks, GEV, AT&T. After the close, this is where it is, Wednesday. So Wednesday is gonna be, like I said, this is where the craziness starts. So we have FOMC and Jerome Powell, 2 and 2:30 Eastern, right? And then an hour and a half later, after whatever the fuck happens, right, for FOMC, after the bell, you have Tesla earnings, you have Microsoft earnings, you have Meta earnings. So you have three big names right there reporting after the close. After that, you have Now, you have IBM, you have LUV, or Southwest Airlines, and a few other small ones, right? Nothing too crazy. So Wednesday, I'm telling you right now, is probably just going to be the one that everyone is going to be waiting for with FOMC, Tesla, Microsoft, and Meta. My personal opinion for Microsoft and Meta, looking at the charts and going into these things, I'm a little bit more positive on those two specifically. So I would love to see moves higher within those two names, Meta and Microsoft, but that is neither here or there. Along with Tigger and OW, which is something I'm going to cover here on the charts in just a second for potential trade idea, but you do have earnings coming up on that. But I do like where the chart is. I sent out last week for a dumpster diver trade, and it is bouncing and holding support on the larger time frame as of right now. So we'll take a look at that in here in just a minute. Thursday, Emp's favorite name of all time, probably. Actually, two, and this is back to back right there. He has Caterpillar and Honeywell coming in on Thursday before the bell. You also have MasterCard and then Royal Caribbean and Blackstone, and then LMT. After the close, you have Apple, another big one. You have Visa. So before the open, you have MasterCard, MA. After the bell, you have Visa. Then you have Western Digital. You have SNDK. And then you have DEC. And then Friday, you will have a few other good ones. You will have ExxonMobil. You will have Chevron, CVX, SoFi, American Express, and Verizon. So I think Wednesday to Friday, again, is going to be what everyone's going to be waiting for. Obviously, Wednesday afternoon going into Thursday is going to be big. And then we still have data coming out later on after that. So get ready for a volatile week. Have some fun. Jim Cramer sent a tweet out saying Amazon's a buy. So I guess that means I'm going to get some puts. So let's go ahead and jump into this. So first and foremost, before I go ahead and start talking about SPY, we'll go ahead and just take a look at where SPY is at after hours currently on the overnight session on Webull, which currently shows SPY is at 687.75. Let's just drop it down to a 15-minute real quick. 687.7. Oh, we haven't freaking gone anywhere. SPY is there. Whoopsies, not that one. SPY is what the shit? Oh, that button. SPY is literally right. Oh my god, what is going on? Get rid of that level. There it is. SPY's right there. So on the gap down, SPY went a little bit lower. SPY came down to 686.50. Not bad. So it broke this low right here from Thursday's session, and now we're just back up right here reclaiming it. So overall, SPY is right there after this futures dump and pump kind of situation. So looking at SPY, we don't really have much. So as of right now, look, your daily 21 EMA 687.52. SPY is at 687.81 currently. So give or take about 30 cents above that area. So SPY still holding as of right now above daily 921 EMA. I've seen this chart a little bit on X. People are posting potential, head and shoulders that's coming in here on the Spoozy Woozies. SPY is in a daily squeeze as of right now from Thursday, Friday session. You do have MACD that is negative. Also, you do have bearish divergence that printed on the RSI during this time. Again, after doing it over here when SPY was making higher highs in sessions that were coming in within the next following days, but RSI was still printing bearish divergence. So a little bit iffy overall on the higher time frame right now, but it is in a daily squeeze just in the last two sessions. It is moving to the downside. That doesn't mean it's going to squeeze to the downside. Not until I like to see it flip bearish and actually go red and see the little red dot go away. But as of right now, you do have a possibility for a squeeze moving downside, but that is obviously right now just speculation. But for SPY, honestly, there's nothing really significant here. You have your resistance kind of just above this area, 690 to 691.50. I mean, if you drop it down probably to your hourly time frame, it probably makes this area pretty clear. So we almost filled that gap. It didn't freaking give it to us. I wanted to go short so bad on Friday, and I just wanted to wait until it got up into that area, but it just came short of Thursday's high and they sold it back down. So you have that area right here of resistance on SPY. So I would still like to see this area either breaking base above that to get a move higher. And then for support downside, you have this area from here to here. So if I nitpick the bottom and top of this zone here, that's your resistance. This is where SPY is currently at. We're just going to mark that. We'll say that's our midpoint as of right now. And then this will be current bottom for an area of support. Whoopsies. So let's drop this down to a 15-minute time frame. I can turn off this. I don't need that. So currently, with where SPY is sitting, you'll see big reactions are happening when this area was tested from the other side. That is an SR flip, break of structure, retest, rejection. Another one right here. Now look what happens on third time's the charm right here. See this giant green candle right here? If you ever attended my mastermind class, you know what I'm going to say. That is the middle finger to the bears from the bulls. They tried to hit this zone here. Bear slammed it down. They hit this zone again. Bear slammed it down. Bulls gave the bears the middle finger. They ripped through the zone. That is the big green candle, the middle finger. Bears slammed it, came back down, and then they SR flipped it here, which now means it can move up and go to the next zone, right? So now when this area gets retested again, I would like to see it act as an area of support. Again, in order for me to stop taking puts and looking to go short every single time SPY enters up into that area, it needs to do the exact opposite of what they did right down here. Bears need to finally fail, and the bulls need to win the zone, which means they need to middle finger, bring it back down, SR flip it, start to show support, I buy, and then we take it up higher and we go to the next zone, which will be obviously these highs from right up here, closer to 695, 696 on SPY. That is the only way that I end up going along when SPY starts to break and base above that zone. Until that happens, I look to go short every single time SPY hits that area until I am proven wrong. I will take that trade every single time it presents itself until I lose. It's just how it works. Every single time we hit resistance and sellers step in, I go short. I take puts until I lose that trade. If we hit it here, I win. We hit it here, I win. We hit it here, I win. We go for the fourth time, I lose. It is what it is. I won 3 out of 4 trades trading the same shit over and over again. That's just how it works. Vice versa for the downside right here. So make sure you highlight these two zones right here, 684.70 to 686 downside, right? Your midpoint is around 688, almost to the penny-ish area between the two. And then above is around your 691, 692 area. So mark these areas right here on SPY going into the next session. These are going to be areas acting as your resistance and or your supply zone. This down here is going to be your support, and this is going to be your demand zone. Very short, sweet, to the point going into next session on SPY. I'm actually going to go ahead and screenshot that. QQQ, kind of already have a few areas marked, but I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of this chart anyways. So I have a level right here on QQQ coming down closer to 617. That is kind of my area that I'm looking for. So if you highlight, very similar to SPY, this area here, area of support. Go over here, zoom out, look left. You have this area of resistance. Qs almost came back up to retest this area here. Just missed it. Again, I missed the short on SPY and Qs. I was trying to let it just get up there a little bit more before it came back down. And unfortunately, I ended up missing the trade, but it is what it is. So for QQQ, Around that 615 to 616.6 area is going to be my area of support. So even if we end up taking out these lows right over here around 618, I think you catch a nice short down to the zone. I would expect buyers to step back in and defend this area before it ends up going lower. If they end up losing the zone right here, I think Q's going to clearly just go back down to 610 and then 606 after that. So before that happens, I would expect this area between 615, 616 to act as big support. And then I would still like to see this area act as big resistance up here on QQQ. So previous price action shows from Thursday's high, Friday's high, and then this Friday, previous Friday high got within, what is the high of that candle? 625.40 and 625.66 came within a freaking quarter of entering into that zone. So go over here to Q's. Look, it's right there. It's already marked on this chart over here too. Look at that. Go over here to SPY. You got it marked right here too. So very, very close. Very, very close. So those are the only two areas that I am watching currently on QQQ. Again, same thing with SPY. Every time this red area gets tested, seller step in, I go short. That is a beautiful evening star, by the way. Anyone else see that? See, look, if I would have flipped to a 15-minute, I would have saw that evening star right there. Just shy of hitting the freaking zone. What? Oh, no, I did take this short. I did take this short. Hold up. Did I take this on the small account challenge? Hold up. Let me see. I did. I took QQQ 624 puts for January 26th at 242 on the premium price at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Where's the 11:30 candle? Or 11, which one is it? On the when the 11:25 candle closed going into 11:30, which is that candle here. So I went short right when that candle right here down to the 21. I think EMP longed it. I think we were on live stream when I took that quick short down. Yeah, yeah. 15-minute closed right there. I went short. This candle went red down to here. I think EMP bought it back up. And then we end up freaking flushing later on after it. Oh, look, it printed a nice little Morningstar reversal right there, too. Anyways, that's it for QQQ. IWM is a completely different story because IWM has an evening star on the daily. So this is no bueno. I already have an alert set that if it breaks like 264 area, it's going to be your daily 9. That is kind of no bueno because that has continued to hold on IWM since January 5th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 sessions. You're talking 2 weeks of price action on IWM that has continued to close and hold above the daily 9 EMA. And now on your daily chart, you're getting an evening star reversal, if I can spell that right. An evening star reversal. Big green candle left, neutral to bearish in the middle, big red candle on the right. So 9 times out of 10, I like to see continuation to the downside. After that, I would like to see a move back down to here to 260 on IWM. It's going to be about right there. So if I had to take a guess, by the time if this ends up flushing, moving to the downside, your daily 21, which is that little orange squiggly line right there, is probably going to be creeping up even a little bit higher, which is probably going to line up near that 260 target, which is going to be your support from what, 2 weeks ago on January 14th. So keep an eye out for IWM for potential downside. I sent out some charts on X earlier because I mentioned this one because I have earnings. So I'll go ahead and cover that now. And no pun intended, but it's ticker now, service now. I sent this chart out earlier today, and I sent this chart out last week for a dumpster diver trade for a bounce play. So previous price action shows back in May of 2024, this area was tested. When this area held as support, the stock rebounded and got a really nice move to the upside. By really nice move, I mean the stock went from 127 all the way to a high of 239. So the stock ripped over $100 to the upside. That area is now testing again here on ticker NOW. Risk to reward, I think, looks very, very good for swing longs. Buying here, risking a close underneath of it, even targeting back up to retest your daily 21, puts you at around 162, which if you just mark this high from over here, boom, right there. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? Mark that on the chart. Let's go look at it. That means for this, for a swing trade as of right now, your risk reward ratio is almost exactly 3.5, which means I'll risk losing $1,000 to make $3,500, or risk losing $100 to make $350. That's a good trade, in my opinion, where your reward is 3.5 times greater than what your risk is, and that's entering in right now on that candle. If there's any kind of pullbacks from here down to this area to lower your risk and higher your reward, even coming back down to 130 psych level and risking close under 127, that automatically increases that risk reward ratio to almost a 6.0. So now risking $1,000 to make 6,000, or risking 100 to make 600. Great swing trade. I think buying time on a name like this, especially after it just got this huge monster move to the downside, just consecutive weekly candles. I mean, you're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of downside. Absolutely insane. Go to your daily chart. If it hits that area, if it does get a break in base above that, there is a gap fill, which would take the stock even higher. That starts on this day from Friday, December 12th. So there's a gap fill here, which would take the stock closer to 171. I mean, you're just talking best case scenario, but now you're talking a 7.5 risk reward trade potentially. So obviously, all of this is just speculation, but I like taking trades where things look like shit and then, you know, catching the bottom for low risk, high reward trades. I don't want to be buying calls at all time highs. I want to be buying calls when this thing is sitting in the gulag. So I think this can be one of those names where it could be sitting in the gulag. Again, they do have earnings this week. It says right here on to the calendar. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, keep this one on watch. I think it looks pretty good. Covered this one as well. This is Marathon Petroleum. Expensive petroleum. So there is a Head and Shoulders here on the weekly. You have some nasty, and when I mean nasty, I mean nasty. Like freaking Emp's family back home has a bunch of hogs rolling around in pits of mud, and their nicknames are Marathon, Petroleum, and Corporation, those three little piggies. And they're filthy. And this chart is filthy, disgusting, and nasty for this Head and Shoulders. Look at these upper wicks right here on both of these candles for the weekly. That is a lot of sell pressure. And if you look at where it's rejecting around that 183 area, it matches it perfectly with a rejection that happened back on Monday, July 7th of 2025. The stock went from the 183 price back to where it printed this morning star off this support. If you end up just taking that low right here, back down to 158. So you'll see how that area acted again as an area of support here, acted as an area of support right here. So I would like to target this area back downside. So any between where the daily EMAs, or sorry, where the weekly EMAs are at right now, between 175 and 180, I would love to get an entry. And I can even scale into this trade if it continues to pop up and reject 183, but that would be my stop, targeting back down underneath 170 for the break and get the move down closer to 160. So I'm going short in this area, risking above there, at least targeting back down to the equal low that puts you at a 2.05, but going for that full move potentially downside puts you at a 2.5 risk to reward trade. So not a bad trade where your reward will be 2.5 times greater than your risk. And again, a really nice Head and Shoulders right here. I looked around the market for a lot of daily and weekly charts. There wasn't a lot of clear Chart patterns. Honestly, there's a lot of wedges and a lot of triangles, trend lines, and things like that. But I was looking for cup and handles, head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders. Honestly, I did not see a lot of them out there. So when I came across NPC, I was like, this looks really, really good. So obviously, it has not created the full right shoulder. That's the beauty about sniping a trade, because this is a 2.5 risk to reward trade, creating the right shoulder to get to the neckline to create the head and shoulders. If the head and shoulders, if the trade plays out, if the thesis and chart plays out to the downside, it has now created the head and shoulders. So now everybody's going to now is going to see the completed head and shoulders. We're speculating from looking at this chart, rejecting this area here is going to fill and create that right shoulder of the curve downside. So now, when the stock gets down to sub 160, people are gonna be like, "Oh shit, there's a Head and Shoulders now on MPC. I'm already up, 200% on put swings right now. My 160s are in the money, and if it breaks the neckline and goes lower, now we got to do some other TA. Where is this thing going down to next? I mean, are we talking down here close to your 140 area? Is it going to drop another 20 bucks after that? Looking at the chart, there's a small gap to fill right over here. Target quickly underneath that. That's going to take you down to about 150, 250. I mean, so breaking that neckline opens up the floodgates for this thing to continue to go even lower. So keep this one on watch. Again, this is ticker MPC. Another one, keep an eye on this one. So these two are going to be energy plays, energy names. So make sure you are watching your sectors this week, see which ones are going to have relative strength and weakness. So for these two specifically, going to be looking at XLE, see how energy performs. If energy overall is weak, then looking at MPC and looking at VLO, I think could be very beneficial within that space. So you had a double top back in the first week or so of January, where the stock hit this area around 191 and the stock sold back down to about 180. So it dropped over about 10 bucks. It just had a nasty upper wick on Wednesday, January 21st, and it just did the same nasty upper wick again, rejecting this area and closed with a nasty red shooting star. And it is extended from the daily 9 and 21 EMA with a gap fill potential below. If it breaks underneath 177, there is a gap to fill down closer to about 165. So again, looking to go short within this area, you can even risk a little bit tighter stop over that 191 area if you want to go up to the 194. For me personally, I think if it ends up going back up near that 191.50, it's not a trade I want to continue to sit in. I would like to see it continue to reject and close underneath that. That's just me personally for this trade. And coming back down here, that already puts you at a 2.6 risk to reward if it ends up getting full gap fill for a trade over time. You're talking maybe March puts on this thing, 170s to 160s. Full gap fill would put you at almost a 1 to 6 risk to reward. So risk losing $1,000 to make 6,000, risk losing $100 to make 600. Again, I think this chart here for a potential short gives good risk to reward for the trade. So keep that one on watch with MPC going into this week. Some positivity for upside. Keep Reddit RDDT on watch. You do have a potential Morningstar reversal on your daily chart. You get a lot of wild action that happens around this 210 to 213 kind of area. A lot of big candles that end up ripping through this area, or big rejections for SR flip spots. You'll see a big rejection right over here in November. Big green candle ripped up, back down, back up, kind of just consolidated here until it ripped above higher. They SR flipped it, then it went higher. This is the first time this area just got retested again from that November price action, and getting a nice little morning star right here. So at least getting a bounce back up to retest daily EMAs, getting back over 230. So risking about $6-7 downside for 12 to $15 upside, puts you at a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio for a potential trade. So Reddit's one of those names where it can be moving all day out of nowhere. The stock can just be up 4, 5, 6%, while everything else is doing absolutely nothing. Reddit is one of those names that can do it. So if you see relative strength on Reddit here, especially when it starts to clear back over 220, I'd look for mid 225, 230 area for targets upside. So keep that one on watch. Another one is Starbucks. Starbucks is in a huge daily squeeze that did just flip bullish, moving to the upside. It is coming back up to resistance right up here from July of 2025. So if it can break above, so a nice area of support, down right here in these areas, and now it's coming back up to an area of resistance. So starts to get back above, 99, $100. There could be a potential squeeze play to get this thing moving to go up higher, closer to 110, and then these previous highs right up here. This big rejection, drag that over. That same rejection that puts you about 115, 116 area. So keep Starbucks on watch. This can be another random name that not a lot of people are going to be looking at. And then on your weekly chart, it is in a squeeze to the upside. So again, could be another one of those crazy names. I like looking at the weird ones that not a lot of people like looking at. Your cruise lines, your Pepsis, your KOs, those things set up weekly squeezes. They're going to have days where they're constantly running 3, 4, 5%. You look at the weekly candles and then they're just freaking stacked. For 2 to 3 weeks, that name's been running while, SPY Qs or some tech names are kind of going back and forth. Those individual names are absolutely printing. So keep Starbucks on watch. If M's watching the live stream, then he might like this one here. You have a potential bat signal forming right here. So let me just clear the chart real quick. So I got the alert set up on here. You have a potential bat signal in play here. For anyone that doesn't know what the bat signal is, the bat signal is kind of like, it's like Batman. It's Batman. So you're going to have those two high points and then the stock just dies. So you get this run up, get the really nice upper wick, right? They sell this thing back down. And then they pop it back up. You get a really nice upper wick. And then they sell that thing to the gulag. So there's a double bottom that's holding around 428. There's a double top up here over 600, closer to 610 area. So looking here on the monthly, you have a potential bat signal in play. Not only if it rejects this area and sells all the way back down, do you have a bat signal? That is an evening star. So monthly chart, double top bat signal, evening star at the top of bat signal at double top. Not only that, squeeze has just started for the first time on the monthly here, which is moving to the downside, where your MACD is currently bearish and your RSI is also moving down. So you have a squeeze play on a monthly with an evening star at a double top bat signal trade. Go to your daily. Gap fill potential. If it breaks underneath 519, gap fill will take it to 466.98. This, my friends, is a crazy one. So keep ISRG on watch. This is based on a monthly chart. I'm probably going to talk about this chart every single Sunday night live stream for I don't know how long, until this thing starts to either invalidate or start to validate. But when I see an evening star at the top of an uptrend at a double top, and then also it just started a monthly squeeze that is starting to move to the downside, this is something that I want to keep on watch. So I don't trade this name too often. I don't talk about this name too often. So usually when that happens, something big usually happens within the stock. So this thing could absolutely put in a higher low, reverse, and rip faces off. There's nothing more bullish than a failed bearish setup. So if it does invalidate and it holds, puts a higher low in, and they rip above this, expect that monthly squeeze to continue and fire upside. Absolutely fantastic. If it continues to reject and breaks under this area and starts to fill the gap to the downside, I would expect monthly squeeze to flip bearish and this thing to go lower and play out this full bat signal double top of this evening star at the high for the long term. So I think this is going to be like a January 2027 swing trade if it does play out to the downside. So keep this one on watch. Another dumpster diver trade is Intuit, INTU. Talked about this one last week. Big support over here. Last time the stock had a really nice rip to the upside, then it had earnings that went even higher. But if you cut earnings out of the picture, then stock had a about 26% move to the upside last time that area was tested. So stock just reclaimed this area, getting a nice bounce. There's a small little gap to fill right here on the daily. So I would like to see if stock can move back up closer to 675 area. Absolutely fantastic target upside. Again, there is a small gap to fill here on the daily as well for a target. So keep this name on watch. This is INTU. It's tax season. So I don't know, maybe Intuit, TurboTax, all these people about to start getting paid some money, subscriptions, fees. I don't know. But stock looks like shit. And now it's getting a nice bounce right here at this equal low from April 2025. And last time stock ripped about 26% off of this. So it's about maybe a quarter, fifth of the way there. So I think there's still upside potential for this name to keep going. So keep that one on watch. Another one is Team. Same exact thing. So November 2022 lows, bounced back up, came back down, still held, stock went higher, put in a higher low Morningstar reversal back in May 2023, and then stock cruised up higher. This is the first time Team is testing this area since 2022. So far, the stock is up over 11% off of this low. I would like to see it move up higher, closer to about 145, honestly. So going here to the daily, if you mark 145, puts us about there. So it is about halfway there right now. So I'm expecting a rejection around 133.7. I want to see it pull back down, trigger a higher low around 124, 125. And then I can hold for a stop for down here for a double bottom equal low as my risk. Let me just go ahead and draw this on the chart. So I want it to reject here, pull back down here, get my entry, put my risk there, target back up here to the upside. Boom, that's going to be my trade. So no chase for me here. I talked about this one last week for a swing trade. I got busy with a few other trades, and I took this one off of the watch list, and it completely had a really. I even saw the green inverted hammer down here forming on Tuesday, and then stock just went 3.6%, almost 5%, and then another 2.5%. 3 days back to back, just nice move upside. So want to see it kind of reject that previous Thursday high, get a pull back down, get the higher low, which will lower my risk and not have me chase the trade that's already halfway up there. But another dumpster diver trade over time, I think it can continue absolutely a lot, just much higher than that. This is just starter first off target for this potential trade upside. So keep that one on watch. Other than that, guys, I mean, I've sent out so many charts in the Discord. I'm not going to cover a lot of them here. I've already sent out some charts earlier as well. You can go to my profile on X and you'll see all those. Keep an eye on your banks for downside. Citigroup, Bank of America, JPM, I think can be good moves for downside. They already look like shit. I think you're going to see continuation. You do have a weekly squeeze right here on JPM. MACD has flipped bearish. Two ugly weeks back to back. You are coming to an area of support, so I'm going to look to see if it bounces off around 295 area. If it does, bounces back up, put in a rejection closer to 300, 303 area, essentially getting the move back down to about 280 if the squeeze does fire downside. So previous price action shows buyers are present down here underneath 295. So I would like to see it trigger, see buyers step back in. When they do, eventually short the pop on a daily chart and then start getting the move back downside. So keep an eye on your banks as well. Airlines, I'm looking for downside on a few airlines as well. American, Delta. I'll quickly cover this one because this is a new dumpster diver trade. This is DocuSign. Go to your monthly and monthly volume point of control puts this thing around 56 bucks. It just hit it. This is a really big spot for Docu. And the reason why it's down so bad right now is just from post earnings, right? So the stock just fell 16%. Last time it hit this area was back in August of 2024, consolidated here. Buyers stepped in, nice green candles, nice hammer candles. It formed a flag breakout. Stock absolutely ripped. So it's now testing this area for the first time after being down 16%. Go to your weekly. Same thing as Team, right? I talked about the little green inverted hammer at the bottom, and then it had three consecutive days to the upside. DocuSign on the weekly just put in a nice little green inverted hammer at the bottom, hitting this exact same spot where there was a green hammer right here off weekly as well, volume point of control. After obviously you see the stock just fell on the weekly candle here 17.58%. So this is the start of a potential dumpster diver trade that can find a good bounce back to the upside. I'm going to be looking for 64, 65 bucks. So I think this can be another lower risk, higher reward trade setup. This is going to be one that maybe a lot of people are not going to be focusing on this week due to FOMC, due to big tech earnings. So don't forget about Docu. I think looking at this one, just real quick, that puts you at a 1-to-3 risk reward ratio just for the bounce for a potential swing trade. So last time it accelerated off this within 1, 2, 3 sessions, it hit that target and then ripped straight through it and went to 70. Not saying it's going to happen again, but you do have the potential that's there. That would put the trade now at a 5. So a 1-to-5 risk reward trade right here, potentially on Docu. So real quick, move up there. If buyers step in, defend this area, it just gets the quick scout for a swing trade, 2.5 risk to reward, but getting that move up here closer to 70 would be absolutely amazing. So keep Docu on watch as well this week. Other than that, I'm not gonna talk about a lot of other ones on watch. I have Uber on watch. I have Lyft on watch. Um, Hood, I have on watch for downside. I think Hood can go lower. I think Hood can easily go sub 100 over time. I would like to see Hood go back down to 80 bucks. In a perfect world, Hood goes to 60 and I finally get to buy in for shares. Because that would be one I would love to own for equity and then be able to sell cash secured puts and covered calls, run the wheel strategy on, but start an overall equity position on that name. So we covered a lot, guys. Appreciate everyone who tuned into the stream tonight. But we covered SPY, Qs, IWM, like 4, 5 of my top watch setups for downside and upside, and then about another 3 or 4 potential dumpster diver trades that look like shit that I think can find good moves back to the upside. Wingstop. Has anyone ever traded ticker WING? Wing? Wingstop? I mean, Super Bowl's coming up. They're about to be freaking busy. I got Wingstop on watch, baby. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but Wingstop, I mean, it held this nice low down here around 240. Think it looks great. I think if you go to your weekly chart, it just flipped. This. I wasn't going to show this chart, but I'm gonna go ahead and show it. So big bounce down here, weekly chart at 205. So now it put in this higher low right up here around this 255 area. So it needs to get over essentially 290 to 300. It just started a weekly squeeze to the upside. So, not saying it's going to squeeze to the upside, but even drawing a trend line here, I mean, in a perfect world, in a perfect world, you see this thing back to 330. So 325, 330, think it's fantastic as long as it holds above 255. Stock is at 271. So risking about 15, $16 downside for potential, 50, $60 upside with the weekly squeeze. I don't really ever chart, trade, or look at Wingstop, but I think it has the potential there. I love seeing names that are putting in double bottoms like this and then seeing these higher lows step in. So as long as these higher lows keep holding here on the higher time frame, and this squeeze just started for the last 2 weeks is moving to the upside, your MACD is bullish, your RSI just slowly creeping its way back up as well. Those are all good signs on what I like to see onto a chart until eventually the squeeze fires. When it does, you get this kind of price action here. See the giant green candle and then the rip right here? That's what you want to see. That's a good squeeze. So I would like to see the stock go from here to there. I just want to see a giant green candle come in on Wingstop. So if for whatever reason within the next few weeks you see Wingstop ripping over 300 and going to 325, 330, just remember who told you about Wingstop in the first place. So keep that one on watch. So, all right, guys, that's it for me. We're coming up on almost an hour. Appreciate everyone who tuned into the live stream. How many people we have tuned in tonight? Let's go check. Let's go check across all platforms. We have about 1,500 people within the last 55 minutes that tuned into this. So I love and appreciate you all. Appreciate the Wolf Trading account who reposted this before we started. All the people who liked and reposted on X, I greatly appreciate you. Obviously, X being the biggest one, we have just over 1,300 people who tuned into that one, about 50 over on the YouTube side, and then a few others on the Twitch and Kick, it seemed, that tuned in earlier. I don't know how to check like how many people like follow me on Kick or Twitch. I don't really know how to use these things yet. So, hey, it says I just gained my first follower on Kick. Let's freaking go. I don't know how those platforms work. I'm old. These help me so much, Casey. Never stop, my brother. I appreciate you. That's the reason. It's the reason why I do it. I love looking at charts. I love trading. I love teaching. I love talking about technical analysis and just sharing my opinions with other people. And if anything I say on here, just obviously, nothing on here is ever financial advice, just showing what I see on the charts and my opinion on things. If it leads to people getting further education and helping them along their trading journey, then that's the goal. That's freaking amazing. We're all in this together. We're all trading the same shit every single day. So it's absolutely amazing to have a good trading community and to see things like this as well. So I appreciate that, brother. I really do. Tesla, I'm not too concerned with Tesla, Microsoft, or Meta, honestly, because they have earnings. The only one I'm interested in is now, and that's because I already had the chart on watch prior to going into earnings and the way that the chart is looking, specifically on that chart for risk to reward trade. That is one that offers a lower risk, higher reward trade setup with earnings off on the side. You don't even think about the potential volatility and craziness that can come from that. If you go look at Tesla's chart, there's nothing there for me to really do. I think Tesla looks great. Um, right here, I already have the trend line marked. It just hit this area right here and got a nice bounce off of it. If you just go to your daily, if you mark these previous highs from right over here where the gap fill is right there, and if you mark this low right here, let's just say you draw a fib from low to high, You're 50% retracement, we're just right above it, which means we're directly in the middle of this overall range from 417 to about 470. Um, this is not an area that I want to look to get any kind of larger picture, potential swing trade, big move, low risk, higher reward trade setup. I don't think is present right now on Tesla leading up into the earnings on Wednesday. Maybe post Wednesday earnings, we see a breakdown maybe underneath this trend line and underneath this low here and get a move down to these lows on Tesla, 385, 390. Or we see a breaking base above, 470, and the stock rips finally the 500, with people have been talking about for the last 6 months. People were saying that Tesla was going to 500 by the end of the year. I don't know. It's now the end of January 2026 going to February, and stock just rebounded off 420 and is now sitting at 449. So it's Tesla with where it sits at. I'm not highly concerned with where it's at until after earnings. I think you have a few things for day trades here and there, and that's what I'm doing. I'll look at smaller time frames, 5, 10, 15-minute charts for a move from here to here real quick, get my 20, 30, 50, whatever it is percent and be out. That's about it. Microsoft and Meta, like I said, slightly different. I know someone just said Microsoft. I already have it drawn right here on the chart. I drew this last week. So had this chart highlighted from December 2024. Nice break above, retest, hold, big reaction to the upside, right? Just had a bear flag breakdown with a squeeze right here that fired on Monday, December 15th, and then consolidated, still rejected that high, and then broke down. Hit the level, the zone perfectly. Now we're rebounding. We're coming back up to retest the bottom side of that flag. So, in my opinion, I'm looking for honestly a reclaim back over around 475 area. If it starts to reclaim back above 475, goes back to 490. Honestly, if it rips above 490, I think you can see a really nice move on Microsoft. There's your bat signal. Remember, I was talking about the other chart earlier? Bat signal. That's a bat signal. MPC, I said potential bat signal right there. See how it played out here on Microsoft, made that extra low. It's kind of what I want to see on MPC for that chart earlier. But I do want to see higher on Microsoft. So I want to see Microsoft go higher. I also want to see Meta go higher. I am most likely not going to trade these names before earnings. If I swing anything over earnings for whatever reason, it is most likely going to be a call position with time. So it's not going to be Friday expiration, even next week or 2 weeks out. It's most likely going to be a couple weeks, if not a couple months out, easily with time on contracts for Meta and Microsoft if I swing any positions through earnings. So that's it for me, guys. Appreciate you all. That's it for me. I'm closing up shop. Yeah. So again, appreciate everyone who tuned into the Sunday night live stream. If you want to come hang out with myself and a group of another amazing traders, it's not only myself. I do have 4 other amazing traders within my Discord for option selling, options buying, day trading, swing trading, and futures trading for ES and NQ. And then myself, I do have my alert channel for day trade, swing trading, and then I do have my small account challenge for SPY, QQ, and IWM specifically. And then also my credit spread challenge that I'm also running for SPX. So we have all of the goods going on all at the same time over here, offering absolutely everything, along with buying shares in companies for my long-term investments and then selling covered calls on these names right now, which is currently what I'm doing with a few. As everyone knows, I sent my position where I bought Netflix shares and I bought PayPal shares. So currently down on PayPal by like I think 2%, and I think I'm up like 3.5% on my Netflix new position. And I've sold I think 2 rounds so far of covered calls on PayPal, and both have gone 100%. So we do everything over there. So we have an amazing community. We have what are we sitting at now? 9,320 people within the Discord. So live streaming, live trading, live teaching from start to finish every single day, Monday through Friday within the premium Discord. That is where I live at with my team. So I encourage everybody to find a strong and good trading community that you can connect with. I think it's very, very beneficial. You hang around nine amazing traders, you will be the 10th. You hang around with nine millionaires, you will be the 10th. So don't trade on your own. Don't sit there and do all this by yourself. Find a good group, find some other traders that you can connect with and get involved within that community. If it's my community, fantastic. If it's not, it's not. But just go find one. I highly encourage everybody to do that. So if you want to come hang out with the Casey Trades Discord community, though, you can go to my link in probably any of my social media where you're watching this at. It'll take you to my Discord and then take you to my store. You get a 7-day free trial. Come hang out for a week for free, make money and leave, or make money and stay. Those are your two options. Hopefully, we make money either way. Um, but use code SPY25. I know someone else was asking that a little bit ago. I saw it in the chat. Um, there it is, Shady Weighty, right there. Perfect timing. SPY25, SPY25, 25% off absolutely anything and everything within the store. So if you do get a 7-day free trial, right at the end of checkout, put in that discount code. If you decide to stay, it'll take 25% off whenever it starts the new subscription for you joining the team. So highly encourage everyone to do so. Other than that, that's it for me. I appreciate everyone who tuned in. For the people in the premium Discord side watching this live stream, I'll see you guys in the morning in the Discord for the live streaming and live trading session. I'll be there all day. I'm also a speaker on the Wolf Trading Spaces, and obviously I'll be on the Wolf YouTube side as well, hanging out with them on the back half of the sessions, but obviously mainly live streaming and trading and teaching with the team in the Discord. So love you guys. Appreciate you. Let's have an amazing week. Remember, FOMC is Wednesday. Big tech earnings start Wednesday after the bell. So from Wednesday from 2 p.m. to Wednesday to 4 p.m., those 2 hours, it's going to be fucking volatile. So be prepared for it. Market's going to be anticipating for those things that are going to be coming because could be potential big moves in the market. So make sure you're just either sitting on hands or you're positioned correctly if you are going to be hanging out with longer term positions or swing trading over that day going into the next sessions, because obviously there could be some crazy volatility coming out. And obviously, I'm sure we're going to have headlines from Trump, some tariff news and other shit coming out throughout the week. So just make sure you have your news guy on. Follow Financial Juice on X. That's the go to guy for it. So, yeah, love you guys. And I'll catch you later. Have a good night.